The top 10 countries with the highest number of people in crisis level of hunger or worse in 2021. The latest global report on food crises found that in 2021, 134 million people faced severe hunger in 10 of the world's hungriest countries. The United Nations World Food Programme delivers over 4 million tons of food to over 100 million people each year in more than 120 countries and territories. Most of them are concentrated in just a few countries. Why? The number one driver of hunger on the planet is man-made conflict. Conflict tears families apart, forces entire communities from their homes, destroys infrastructure, and disrupts food production. It's a vicious force, and one that's pushed 139 million innocent civilians to the most extreme levels of hunger imaginable. Democratic Republic of the Congo. 20.5 million people in crisis hunger. 6.7 million people in emergency hunger. The DRC has surpassed Yemen as the world's largest hunger crisis. Decades of civil war have left millions dead or displaced. The number of severely hungry people skyrocketed from 13 million in 2019 to over 26 million in 2022. 1 in 3 Congolese, a record high, are now hungry. Afghanistan. 14.1 million in crisis hunger. 8.7 million in emergency hunger. Ethiopia. 12.1 million in crisis hunger. 4.3 million in emergency hunger. 350,000 people in catastrophe level of hunger. Conflict has spread and intensified in northern Ethiopia, with the threat of famine trailing behind in its wake. Over the last 16 months, violence has disrupted humanitarian aid, planting seasons, and streams of income. Nearly 40% of people living in the Tigray region, an early epicenter of the conflict, are facing severe hunger. In the last year, the United Nations World Food Programme has reached 4.4 million people in northern Ethiopia with food and nutrition assistance. Yemen. 11 million in crisis hunger. 5.1 million in emergency hunger. 50,000 people in catastrophe level of hunger. More than 17 million people, over half of the population, wake up hungry every day. It's a devastating reminder of what conflict can do to a country. More than 2 million children are severely malnourished, and 500,000 are at risk of dying without treatment. Nigeria. 12.7 million in crisis hunger. 200,000 in emergency hunger. Conflict and poverty are wreaking havoc in Nigeria, with the northeast part of the country an epicenter of climate change and conflict. Attacks by armed groups and counterinsurgents have forced 3 million people from their homes and cut them off from their farms. In the conflict-affected states of Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe, 2.4 million Nigerians are facing severe hunger. Syrian Arab Republic. 9.5 million moderately food secure. 2.5 million severely food insecure. A decade of war has pushed more than 12.4 million Syrians to high levels of hunger. More than 6.5 million people are displaced inside the country, many of whom now live in squalid, overcrowded camps, and another 5.7 million have fled as refugees to neighboring countries. Syrian children have borne the brunt of the war's effects. The crisis has become one of our most complicated operations, but we continue to serve over 5 million Syrians each month. Sudan. 7.1 million in crisis hunger. 2.7 million in emergency hunger. South Sudan. 4.7 million in crisis hunger. 2.4 million in emergency hunger. 110,000 people in catastrophe level of hunger. South Sudan is facing its hungriest year ever due to a deadly combination of a years-long civil war and erratic weather. 3 consecutive years of widespread flooding and localized areas of drought, coupled with increasing violence, have pushed communities to their limit. United Nations World Food Programme aid has prevented famine from sweeping across the entire country, but tens of thousands of people are likely to starve if they don't receive food assistance soon. Pakistan. 3.6 million in crisis hunger. 1.1 million in emergency hunger. Haiti. 3.2 million in crisis hunger. 1.2 million in emergency hunger. How you can send food directly to an orphanage. Follow the easy 1-2-3 step system. Step 1. Find an orphanage in a poor part of the world. Step 2. Find a local grocery store or food wholesaler that can deliver. Step 3. Place the order and have it delivered. It's really that easy. Remember that it is best to contact the orphanage first to make sure they are willing to accept the food donation.